David is the Associate Dean of Academic Programs and the MBA Director at the Bill Munday School of Business at St. Edward's. I had the pleasure of working with David when I got to see firsthand how he put customers first and employees first. How you do that, I don't know, at Motion Computing, which is the largest manufacturer of rugged computing solutions at the time.
Because Laura and I have worked together for a very long time. We actually were on the same corporate branding team at Motorola in the early 90s. And then when I started Motion, Laura was the person that, and her team, that actually helped us define the products we were going to bring to market, helped us figure out the segmentation. And we spent many, many years, actually, probably the first 3 or 4 years, arguing over features and segments and the best way to test. And the thing that was great about Laura is that she was always focused on the end user and the customer. But she didn't argue by opinion, she argued by data. And I was very much, at the time, I had not done my MBA yet, I was very much a what I would call a qualitative marketing person, while she was a quantitative marketing person, and it was a really great combination. So I was really honored to be asked to participate with her and review the first book versions. And I thought the work she did in it was phenomenal. One of the things she asked me to talk about was why I bothered to write the foreword, other than the fact that we're good friends. And one of the things that I'm very concerned about is, as the digital transformation has taken off, people have focused more on the downstream marketing of digital marketing, of the messaging, Google AdWords, social media marketing, really good on the metrics of how you do ad placement, and they've lost some of the fundamental basics of market segmentation, product market fit, some of the really important meat and potatoes that if you don't get them right, how good you are at understanding the metrics doesn't matter. And her book and the work she did was really about how do you do that baseline work to make sure that your market strategy upstream is strong enough to support the downstream, and that the messages and pieces you put together are going to be critical for the customers you're targeting. One of the awards actually I got that I was proud of was this thing that we teach, that we put together, called the value equation. When we teach marketing, we talk about the value equation, which says basically on one side of the value equation is the customer. And the goal in a corporation is to provide excess or surplus of benefit and value so that they feel like they got a really good deal. And that benefit and surplus is called customer satisfaction. And on the other side of the equation is what the company gets, which is the surplus is called profit. And the better you are at identifying the customers and the needs of those customers and delivering them, and then doing the downstream to target them in the right place, the more profit you deliver, while you also delight the customer. And I think one of the things that she has put together in this Circle of Traction in the book is really, really specific direction and guidance of how to do that. And I think it's probably one of the best tools right now that I've seen in being able to, if I talk to my students about the value equation, I can go, and this is what it means. Take the book and look at the circle. Another thing she asked me to talk about was growth and why growth is critical. And it's interesting, I'm in higher ed right now, which is going through a massive change. And the one thing I found, in my life, I've been in 3 different industries. As a kid, I grew up in the grocery industry. Then I was in tech for most of my career, and now I'm in higher education. When I was a kid in the 70s, grocery stores were going through consolidation because growth was not happening. The chains were taking over, the independents were disappearing or being merged. What happened in tech, I went through it twice. Early in the 80s with software, when growth kind of tapered off and we had the consolidation, and then in the PC industry. And now higher ed's going through the same thing. And the one thing I will tell you is that growth is fun, and decline is horrible. And she's going to talk a little bit about culture. I know that's going to be part of the discussion. Let me also tell you that growth has a huge impact on culture. People like working for growing, successful teams, and they have a hard time dealing with decline. And so, culture and growth are very close together. One of the benefits of growth is it helps attract talent, funds investment, and, clearly drives increased profits. But it's not enough to just grow. And actually, anybody that knew Dell in the early days of Dell, I was there at the time, we talked about the balanced growth. It was growth, profitability, and liquidity. And the important thing, which ties back to the value equation, is profitable growth. And again, I think what the book does is really lays out how you can achieve that pretty well.